Hey guys, welcome to a new episode of She's Ramble. I'm your host Sarah, and it's been a while. I skipped a few weeks because honestly, I just really needed to gather myself mentally. And every time I went to record, like got in front of the camera, my anxiety was really bad. It was like right before I was supposed to go to Spain. I was just really nervous about flying, and we just like it was a lot. I had one of my friends text me the other day, called me out. Basically, it was like, when are you gonna post your next episode? So here we are. I feel a lot better this week. I just honestly, after March, after I got let go from my last job, I think that I was just kind of like spiraling and just trying to do all the things at once. And I feel like I just needed to pump the brakes because mentally it got me to where I don't know what I was doing. I don't really know, but I needed to take a break, and that's when I decided that I wasn't going to work this summer and just spend time with my kids, solo travel, just do all the things and just try to take a break and take care of my mental health. So that's what I've been doing. But I feel like I do need to post, which this week has been a lot better. I was supposed to go to Spain and I canceled my trip last minute. I was literally drove to the airport, 2 hours to the airport. My anxiety was really bad. I was only going to be going for 3 days. And I was like, I got to the airport and I was just like, wasn't excited about it. So I made the decision to not go. And at first I was like, okay, well, that's kind of dumb. Maybe I should have went. And like, it didn't help that the Indian plane crashed like the day before. So that made my anxiety way worse. And I'm already terrified of flying. For the most part, I get to the airport and I feel better. And like, my anxiety's not that bad. It's never, ever, ever been this bad. And it's never been to the point where like, I just sat there and I was like, I'm not even excited about going. Like, that's never happened to me before. So I was like, I just had to listen to what I felt at the moment. And I'm happy with my decision. If it's a brave thing to do, is to listen to what you feel at the moment. Uh, Spain will always be there, and hopefully I will reschedule. I got my money back for my flight, and everything will be fine. And then we had baseball all week. It was the World Series. The boys ended up winning the championship, which was really cool. And then now my daughter's in cheer camp. Me and her are really close. Like, I've always been so scared. You know, my kids end up being a teenager. You always hear like, oh, you know, you and your daughter will, the teenage age, you won't get along. And like my whole life, I was just terrified of my kids growing up be teenage little a-holes and me and her just like butting heads. But so far, knock on wood, it's been me and her have a really good relationship. She's my best friend, and I don't feel like we bump heads. Yeah, so she's at Great Wolf Lodge, and I hope she's having the best time of her life. Uh, yeah, she's never been like away from us besides like going to grandparents' house or something. So I don't know. I was really nervous for her, but I'm excited and I miss her. So today, I wanted to talk about something real that I know a lot of women struggle with, but don't really talk about. And that's what happens when you don't know who you are anymore, like pretty much losing yourself to being a mom, a wife, whatever, you know, your job is. Like, you just lose yourself to the world. You know, when you're little kids, you start liking a cartoon character and like you're known as, I'm the person that likes the Lion King or whatever. And that's like, you kind of cling to that like as your identity. I know for the longest time, I wasn't a little kid. I was actually much older when I first moved to America, which I do. I like the Ninja Turtles. I think they're cool. But like, I kind of cling to that, like, oh, I want to be known the girl that likes Ninja Turtles, which is so cringe. I know. But like, everyone, like, it made me feel good when people saw something and thought of me. Like, it made me feel seen. So anytime they're like, oh, Ninja Turtle Sarah, like they automatically like thought of me, and that just made me feel good. Like, people think of me. Not It's not so much about the Ninja Turtles or anything. It's just the fact that people recognize me, whatever, you know. And I think that kind of gave me a sense of comfort, just knowing like that's like I identify as someone that likes the Ninja Turtles, or someone that likes, I don't know, just anything. I feel like you get to the point, especially like you grow up. It's just okay. For Let me just throw like, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know who we are. For the longest time, I was just like very confused of who I am and my identity and what to do and who to be, especially being from two different sides of the world. I felt like I was too Arab for Americans and too American for Arabs, and to fit in, it was impossible. Like to fit in, I always struggled with trying to fit in. Now I know that it's okay if you don't fit in. Like just be you. But back in the days, it really, really, really bothered me. Like I just tried to fit in. So also, no one talks about how you go from being just yourself. Like I went from being Sarah to a mom to all these things, and now I'm a mom of teens. Like you're just constantly changing as a person throughout your life cycles. You're constantly having to reintroduce yourself to the world and learn who your new identity is. I just remember after having kids, sitting in the parking lot and just feeling so lost. Like literally, like I had no idea who I was, and I just felt so lost. And I was just sitting there in the parking lot, and I think I was trying to call one of my friends, and I was just like hysterically crying because I felt so like, who am I? Like you go for being just you to a mom, like in a day, and it's just like it hits you, and you're just like it's very like confusing, and you have to learn how to be a mom. The more you're a mom, the more you're a wife, the more you live everyday lives, and you don't really notice it or realize it, and you just start slowly slipping away. And I will say this over and over again, having kids have made me the best version of myself. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I was so lost and I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't have no hobbies. I was literally like, didn't know who I was. And eventually that makes you unhappy, like, because you don't, like, even being a photographer. I just remember at one point that I just feel like I wanted to step back from being a photographer because I felt like that was just who I was. Like I lost myself to being a mom, a wife, and a photographer. So it took a lot for me to like just realize that I've lost myself and I didn't want to go through this life anymore. You could still be a good mom and a good wife and a good whatever, good at your job without losing yourself. And it's very important to remember that. So, like, rebuilding your life could be very messy and lonely and ugly at first because you're just like basically saying no to things that you used to say yes to make other people happy. And also learning you're obviously the new you because you have changed throughout the years. You're not the same person, but you also have to learn to prioritize yourself and do the things that you like and not always just doing the things for everyone else. And whether a lot of like some of the things that helped me was like solo traveling, finding hobbies, going to therapy, and just like doing things that I wanted to do regardless of if anyone else wanted to do it or not. Because like my kids don't like going on weekend trips. They hate it. They rather stay home. But I felt like it's very important for me to get away because I like to travel. I like to get away. I like to do the things. And for the longest time, I wasn't because I felt like if they didn't like to do it, if that I wasn't going to go alone and do the things, you know? So I didn't. And I feel like it's very important for you to prioritize yourself, even if you have to do the things by yourself, especially do them by yourself because you do learn a lot about yourself and what you like to do. And I'm not saying don't do things that your family likes to do. Obviously, do the things that your loved one loves to do with them, but also do the things that they don't like that you like to do. Don't just stop living for yourself and doing the things that you like because no one else wants to do it. And another thing I struggled with a lot is feeling guilty for doing the things I want to do. Like I felt guilty. Like until today, I still struggle with it, but I have to always remind myself that I have to prioritize myself. I have to do this in order to be happy. Like, you know? So I feel like that helped a lot. And I mean, you're going to feel guilty about it and you just have to learn how to work with it. And you have to learn how to almost have to learn how to love yourself and do things that you want without feeling guilty, because in the long run, like, you don't want to lose, you shouldn't lose yourself. You shouldn't just be a mom and a wife and a girlfriend and whatever you do for business, for work. You're more than that. You're still you, and the world deserves to know that. And if anything, you deserve yourself back. Also, you're not alone. We all go through these stages, but I do feel like it's very important for you not to stay there and not to let yourself go, because it's not pretty. And if you're not the best version of yourself, you're not going to be the best mom. If you take care of yourself, you're going to be the best mom, the best whatever. So if you're happy, they're happy. Remember that. It's not selfish. Like, and that's another thing. People are trying to make you feel so like bad also whenever you choose to do the things you want to do and call you selfish. Why? Because am I supposed to just be what society thinks I should be? Like, that's bullshit. I don't know. But that's it for today's episode. But like, honestly, like this summer, I probably won't be posting every week. I just need to take time, and but yeah, I will be posting, but just not every week. Once school starts back and we're back in a routine, it's easier for me to stick to the schedule. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.